The Pathway podcast is brought to you by
The Pathway is a full-scale training program that we're using to make future college basketball players. With over 12 years of training material, I'll give you access to the drills, skills, and workouts I use to drum up college interest for my players. Visit thepathway.system.io/proven for more information.
is the premier grassroots program in Indiana. IGB provides full year-round coverage of basketball games and training with a 100% focus on girls basketball. From the first dribble to graduation, we got you covered. Visit www.indianagirlsbasketball.org for more info. Weighted shin guards, a true game changer for foot speed. Get stronger and faster with Speed Demon. Use promo code THEPATHWAY for 15% off.
Welcome to the Pathway Podcast, where we talk about your pathway to becoming the best player you were meant to be. I'm your host, Justin Curry Sr., and I'm joined by a very special guest, my man Justin Curry II. All right, and on this podcast, we're just going to be talking about developing your player, your journey, your hoops journey, and what that's like, and steps that we took or steps that other players took, as we have other guests join us on this podcast, and hopefully you guys get some insight into what it takes to be the player that you want to be and make it as far as you can make it, whether that's Division I, Division II, NAIA, or Division III. Hopefully that's one of your goals. If your kid is playing basketball, Lord knows it costs a lot of money to play basketball these days, so hopefully that's one of your goals. So we're going to talk to Justin today and get some insights of, how he started playing basketball. Justin, what's your earliest memory of playing basketball?
Man, I'd say probably YMCA basketball. Just really going out there and killing and having fun. That was my first memory I remember.
Yeah, okay. I remember that, and I remember your first coach. His name was Phil, and he let you do a lot of stuff on the court for a 6-year-old.
Spin moves, etc. Yeah,
that was really cool. So that's your first memory playing ball, and you weren't really training back then, were you? Were you just playing basketball?
I was hooping.
Hooping?
6 years old, just hooping, having fun.
Okay, and then when do you remember having your first training session with me?
Man.
Or do you?
I honestly don't remember the first one. Okay. I don't remember the first one we had. I just remember some of the bad ones early on because of me, of course, but I don't remember them.
All right, and guys, your mileage may vary because I'm his dad, so obviously we're going to have clashes. If you're not a basketball trainer and he probably won't have. Well, I'll take that back. Sometimes kids do have clashes with their trainers, but me and Justin had some battles over here. We're cool now, right? We're cool. We're making it. Okay. So I'll tell you. I think you were probably about 7 or 8 when we officially started training every day. And this is really, really important. Do you remember the first thing that I had you do?
I believe it was pivoting or footwork.
Pivoting was part of it, but what are you known for right now?
Shooting.
All right. And do you remember how many? Every day?
100.
100 jump shots every single day. That was like a stable thing that we did every single day. Right. We used to track that, just knock it out. Yeah. So I believe that that's how he got his jump shot. Not only can I really shoot the rock, and his mother was a pretty good jump shot shooter too, but we practiced 100 jump shots every single day. Free throw line, right there at the lined up straight at the basket, and just repeatedly did that over and over again. And I would say probably really young age, you had your jump shot was way above average.
It was all right. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's okay.
All right, so that was some of our early training. Let's talk about, moving up and playing in leagues and like actually playing against competition. What do you remember about playing, let's say first grade, second grade, third grade? What was that basketball like?
I remember trying out when I was in first grade for a third grade team, and honestly, I was nervous, but I felt like my skills, like I was told I was pretty good. So when I went in there, I had somewhat confidence to do what I could do. And I remember making the C team.
Yep.
So that was a big accomplishment to me.
Now, disclaimer, let me interrupt Justin real quick. He was in the first grade and you made the third grade C team.
Correct.
Right? Okay, go on.
Correct. Yeah. And pretty much just playing with those guys, going to practice, it helped me build. And that's really what I remember.
So, and pretty much, ever since you've been younger, you've always played grade up, right? Just going up until, even through AAU until you actually got to, high, middle school, 7th grade, 8th grade?
7th grade, yep.
Okay, so that's a big part of it too, is playing against better competition, kids that are better than you. I think that helps you, especially being from Noblesville, where we don't have 100 hoopers up here that are,
Right.
kind of the best player in your age group. Right. For the most part, ever since you've come up. Okay, so that was early age, and then let's talk about let's get in there real quick. Let's talk about something I think is super important. Let's talk about AAU. I want to get your perspective on this. Okay, so even at a young age, we started our own AAU team.
Yeah.
What grade was that? Third grade, fourth grade?
Fourth grade, yeah.
Fourth grade. Okay. So, and we had a couple girls on our team actually. So you remember that?
I do. Yeah. Two.
So, shout out to Ashley and Katie. What do you remember about that first team? Let's talk about that real quick.
Not much. I remember we had some tournaments locally, and then I remember going up to Chicago, I believe, one time, and it was fun because I believe we were still playing up, so we were playing harder competition, and honestly, I just remember him coaching. I was just playing free, and I also had one of my best friends on the team, so I was just playing free, having fun.
Yeah, definitely. And let's talk about, did you know about any shoe circuits at that time, or did you even care?
I had no idea. If I knew, I probably wouldn't care, to be honest.
That's excellent. So I know a lot of parents get caught up with playing on the top team. We just had a local team. I don't even know if any of those kids really even play basketball. They were all a year older than you, so they'll be seniors this year. Well, I'll say shout out to Chris. Chris Arbonitis is probably going to play somewhere. Anybody else?
Not that I can think of.
Traylon, maybe.
Maybe.
So, at a young age, what team you play on, it really doesn't matter. It's all about development and playing and getting better. And, having a chance to have the rock in your hand and make decisions, learn how to play basketball. I thought you got a good chance of doing that.
Yeah.
After that, let's talk one more jump here. We'll talk about 2 more jumps here. Maybe even 3. We ended up transitioning to Team Chaos. Right. That was a AAU program run by a good friend of mine, Ernest Simmons. And you were the young dude. We do got to mention about your crash out era too.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So this goes to the part of the mental part of basketball, because Justin was a mental midget. I'll call you that when you were really young. Yeah. I'd say, anybody say anything to you, crash out.
Oh yeah.
Miss a shot.
If I didn't like anything, I was saying something about it. I was
crash out. Referee called a foul.
Didn't like it. It was getting said.
Crash out. Yeah, everything. Coach said something.
Nah, coach is not respectful.
Okay. All right. So the mental part, and it took a lot for you to grow out of that. But tell me about that. What do you remember about growing out of that anger and not being able to control your emotions when you're playing basketball?
I think I just got too into it. I was really competitive, and I just really wanted to win. So say a ref called a foul and maybe you could lose that game, I was gonna say something to the ref, which I thought would help. Of course, it hurt more than it helped. So once we got to take that step back, I believe it was my 5th grade year, we took a step back and we actually went down and played Boys and Girls Club, which is a little rec league, instead of playing for the Millers that year. I really got to have fun and started to lose more of the crash out. Yeah.
He did. You matured a lot, and came back to Millers, and then you guys won a state championship,
Right.
which was it's pretty cool. And I will say, he played a year up with the Team Chaos, and those boys were really good. I think they kind of settled you down a little bit.
Yeah, because it was an inner city team, and they checked me. It's the first practice they checked me.
Yeah.
Now,
let me ask you that. Do you know what circuit we were playing on that year?
no idea.
All right. Again, we were not on a circuit. It was just an independent team, and we were just playing basketball. So super, super cool. And then from there, we transitioned one more time to Under Armour, which was the Thundercats. And that was technically a circuit team, but we weren't on a circuit. And then we made it to the Nike EYBL, right? It was just, in my opinion, one of the top leagues in the world. Tell me, Justin, what is it? You've played against a lot of players. You played, in some tough battles and stuff. What is it about the EYBL that makes it seem like it's the top league in the world?
I think it's just a skill level. I don't think there's any bad players. Everybody got game. Everybody's going somewhere. I think that's what it is.
Okay. So I said all that to say I want to get to this question for you. If there's a kid, he's probably, let's say he's in the 5th grade or 6th grade or something like that. And he's like, oh, I see the EYBL. I want to go play on that.
Yeah.
What does it take? What would it take for him to go play in that league or play on that circuit? What do you have to be in order to play on that?
You gotta build a certain skill set. You gotta be good at something. So if you're not 6'8", you gotta be able to shoot, or you gotta have something different than everybody else have. Because the 6'8" dude, he might just be super athletic, dunks everything. You're not gonna be that if you're not 6'8". So if you could build something that can help you get on there.
So you would say find a specialized skill that's going to help you stand out, and that's how you make it on a team. And then you got to be really good at that skill. You can't just be average. It's got to be something that you're like you're known for shooting the basketball and making shots. And then I'll say secondary, you improved your athleticism a lot.
You always gotta have athleticism. I mean, if you want to play D1, athleticism is key.
Definitely. And so with playing on the EYBL, that did give you a bunch of looks, and you started getting college interests and stuff like that. Talk to me about, what it was like. Let's say, do you remember the first college coach to show interest in you? Do you have any recollection of that?
I want to say it's Indiana State.
Indiana State was
I
like
think
the first
Indiana
school. I know they were the
State
first school to offer you.
Right.
Was there any other schools that you remember getting interest from?
Do you remember any?
I really don't. That's goes to this point. What grade were you in when you got that first?
I was a sophomore.
So no interest in 7th grade?
No.
No interest in 8th grade?
Not at all.
No interest even freshman year?
Not really, no.
No. And I'll tell you guys, I'll let you guys in on a secret. I wrote to every single school in the state of Indiana just to try to drum up some interest for Justin. Crickets. Okay. Nobody wrote me back. I sent the email to Valparaiso, Indiana State, IU, Purdue, whatever school was in Indiana. I wrote them from the Division I level, and not a single school wrote back. And they shouldn't have. Nobody was interested in a freshman. I'm gonna dish you here, Justin. In a freshman that averaged 1.2 points a game his freshman year. Okay, so this is for the parents, and this would be for the kids too, but no one's really checking for you that freshman year. It's really, I won't say not important, but it's not something that you should stress out or pull your hair out if you're not getting offers or looks. It took a long time to generate interest for you to have schools calling you, and they can't call you until, what day was that?
June 15th.
June 15th.
Going into junior.
Going into your sophomore year?
Going into junior.
Going into junior year. Okay, that's when they can call you. So it took a long time, and that's when he finally, but how many offers do you have now?
6.
6 offers. Okay, so that's just a little tidbit for the parents. I trust me. I got really anxious. I was nervous. I was like, man, nobody wants me, right? So it made me feel some type of way. But if you keep plugging, keep working on your skill set and the type of player that you want to be, you'll get there. I want to take a second and talk about work ethic. How do you feel your work ethic is, Justin?
I think it's good, but I think it can be even better. I mean, if I compare myself to somebody like in the NBA, I feel like right now I'm not close. But I think if I think I can get there, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, definitely. And I know you, obviously I'm your dad, and I know that you spend a lot of time in this gym here at the Noblesville Athletic Club. I don't have to come here as often to work with you because you're always here, and you guys see the shooting machine in the background. Awesome investment. If you can do it, I would do it. I put it on the credit card and work to pay it off. It's a super duper investment. Saved me a lot of time because then I didn't have to come up here and rebound for you all the time. You can just come in and shoot. And that's a home version back there, so you guys can even get one for your house. So work ethic is super important because why? Someone's always working, right?
Somebody's always working.
Right? Yeah. And you would say you're always working?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. All right. You have my build. All right. We're really thin. Thin, light in the tail is what my coach used to say. How important is the weight room to being a good player?
You got to work in the weight room. I'm still trying to see it out, and I'm trying to, because when you go in there and you lift and you feel like you're doing a lot of work, and you come back the next day or the next day, and you keep doing it for 2 weeks and you still see no improvement, it's hard, but you just got to keep going because it's going to pop eventually.
And you're what, 6'3" right now? 6'3.5"?
Yeah.
And that's a shooting guard's point guard position. How strong are the guards that you're going up against at this top level?
They're pretty strong. Like they're more like power forward strength on like high school level. So they're not just normal guards. Also, they're quick too.
That's a big part of it. Speed and power is something that you really got to work to develop because you actually weren't a naturally fast kid, right? No. Had to really work on that and work on being strong. So that's advice that I would give to parents is I would start really early. I didn't really push you in the weight room as a youngster. That's something I wish we would have did a little bit more. We focused a lot on the skill part, and I think that's your shooting ability is really good. But I wish that we would have spent a little bit more time, maybe a little earlier, probably around 5th or 6th grade, just working on natural strength. You don't have to be bench pressing 205.
Nah,
but
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But actually getting stronger in the weight room or getting stronger with your strength, body strength for playing basketball. I think that is a big part. And a lot of coaches have said to me, when they see a kid, they want you to be college ready. Yeah. So they can project you out when you're 17 years old now. Right. They can project you out to by the time it's 18, 19. Should be ready to go right away. That's going to play a big part of it, especially in the landscape of college basketball now. Okay, well, good. Let me ask you, Justin, what is it like talking to college coaches?
It's a little nerve-wracking because if they call you up like just randomly, is what usually happens. You don't want to say anything wrong and make them put down the phone and be like, all right, we don't want this dude. So it's a little nerve-wracking, but honestly, if you build a relationship with one, it's really easy to talk to them, and it's really like a friend sometimes.
Yeah, that's good. I know you've got some good relationships with a few of the coaches, and I've actually developed some relationships with the coaches too. Some really good guys. And tell me about the social media aspect of that. Do they check your social media?
I know some of them like my posts or like my stories, and then obviously on Twitter they like my stuff. So I see they're watching, even the ones that I don't have offers from. I see they're watching. Just hope that they see it and could maybe
like you're not
eventually
a crash out and keeping things positive. You got a pretty positive social media. It's all basketball.
It's all basketball. Yeah.
I would say, parents, I would create a social media page for your kid. I think I made one. What was that? 6th grade?
I think so.
Maybe. And it was all about basketball. No reckless stuff or anything like that. Just basketball promoting and showing your game. And I think a lot of coaches do see it as a positive if you can see progression from when they're a small kid and he's like, oh, this kid does work and they get better. It's good to have a social media page, Instagram, Twitter. I wouldn't say you need a Facebook. I would definitely say Twitter or X. It's X now. Yeah. So X for sure. and Instagram, and have your year on there. He had, for a long time, he had Justin Curry 2026 on his Instagram. You just recently changed that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it makes it easier for the coaches to know your year and get a little bit of information on you. So, okay, good.
That's important on X too.
Yeah,
having
on X as
year.
well. Yeah, definitely. I think more coaches spend time on X than anything else.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Let's talk about academics. All right. So, what's your grade point average right now?
I had a 3.5.
3.5. All right. 3.5 is excellent. And I think that probably qualify you for every school in the nation, right?
Not quite, but just about, yeah.
Just about. You had Yale kicking the tires for a little bit,
I
right?
did. Yeah.
I don't, you know, look like an Ivy League guy to me.
We'll keep that down low.
Might be tough. Northwestern is interested, so that's
Yeah.
good. So academics, Justin, how do you balance academics with basketball and all that?
Honestly, for me, it comes easy. In the classroom, I always try to just get my work done in the classroom. So then once I leave, I go straight to the gym.
So you don't even have to really worry about it
Have
outside?
homework or none of that. And
Okay.
if I do have homework, usually I go to the gym first, get that done, and then before I go to sleep, I get the homework done. If I don't get it done, I'll finish it in the morning. So usually I always just get my work done at home.
So, and this is I can't speak on this part because I was a terrible student. I took geometry 3 times and failed it all 3. So if it wasn't for basketball, I don't know if I would have graduated from high school. It was that bad. I was that poor of a student. I'm not dumb. I just didn't like school and was very lazy. So I am very proud of you for getting your schoolwork done. I don't really say anything to him about schoolwork, but parents, I think it is important that you stay on top of your kids if you can. If you got that credibility. I didn't have the credibility, right? So if you can stay on top of your kids about their school, coaches do look at that. I think what's the first thing when they call your high school coach, they'll ask, how is he in the classroom? How's his attitude? And then they get to the basketball part. So super important. All right. Well, Justin, man, you give me a lot of insight today. I think this was a good first episode. And we stumbled through this, man. We're just doing this off the top of the dome. I'm not a professional podcaster by any means, but hopefully you guys got something out of this. Justin, can you tell them where they can find you at on Instagram and X?
On Instagram, it's Justin Curry II_. And then on X, I believe it's just Justin Curry, and I should pop up right at the top.
Okay. And I'm Justin Curry Sr. on Instagram, and you guys can follow the Pathway Podcast. I have Instagram. I also have the Pathway Pod on X, and we'll have it on Facebook here very soon. So we're going to wrap up this first episode, man. I think very insightful, Justin. Just giving us a little bit. We're going to have more guests, more parents, more players, and just kind of talk about their journey, and we'll get a little bit more in-depth. But for now, we'll probably have Justin back at some time.
I'll be down. This is great.
Coming up to make some big decisions coming up, right? A lot of things are moving and shaking, and we kind of want to get that thing out the way, right? Yeah, that college commitment is a beast. I can't wait to be done with it either. So, all right, I want to thank you guys for joining the Pathway Podcast. This was an awesome chance to clear the air. We don't get to talk that often, man. We really don't. We're really busy. Yeah. So it's good seeing you, and hopefully you guys like the video. Hit the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
On your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard.